Hello, my friends. Welcome to another episode of Empire Secrets. I'm your host, Mariana Henninger. If you're watching me on YouTube, you can see that I have a flannel on. And no, this episode was not recorded months ago. It's recorded literally 2 days before it's going live. So it's middle of June right now. And yes, I'm wearing a flannel. It is supposed to be hot next week, but we are definitely living a mini winter right now. And I'm exaggerating. I just wanted to be cozy, but it is a little chilly out there. Anyway, I hope you're having a great week. Today, I wanted to be incredibly vulnerable and incredibly honest because A, this is my podcast and I get to say whatever I want. B, I kind of tried doing that last week. I feel like I was sharing what I was working on and I wasn't as vulnerable as I really wanted to be. And I was thinking about this episode of, just a couple hours ago and thinking like I'm going through this insane transition and I want to share about it. I think that it's so much easier. There are folks that talk about, sharing the scars instead of the open wounds. I don't feel like I have an open wound right now, but I'm definitely in the middle of a shift and I wanted to document it. And I feel like this is my platform and I'm going to document it. And this is why people follow me. I've heard so many of you guys listening to my podcast respond to me and say that I love hearing how you're building your business. And so I think this is more for you, it's more for me in posterity. This is not an episode where I intend to teach you anything. I'm just going to share what I'm going through and what thoughts are going through my head. The big pivot or the big shift that's happening right now is that I have built most of my business around the brand video teachings, right? Like the brand video accelerator, which is my group cohort, brand video system, which is my course. And if you're not familiar with brand videos, this is the tool by which I help entrepreneurs accelerate trust. And so it's essentially a 2 to 4 minute video that tells the founder story in a very intentional way that builds instant connection with cold audiences, that builds instant trust, and therefore accelerates sales. And this can happen across a number of industries. But traditionally, I've spoken to coaches and course creators. That is what my program has been geared towards and tailored to. And in the last maybe 2 months since the launch of the last cohort of the Brand Video Accelerator in its current form, I'm taking a hiatus from the accelerator to focus on our brand video signature. So, our brand video signature is our high end, white glove, done for you brand video service where we understand and create a brand video for you and install that system in your business throughout your funnels. And we teach you how to use this evergreen asset to not only build trust faster and instant connection with cold audiences, but also in your PR pitches, in your sales pages. You can land media, you can land partnerships. It's your essentially your calling card in a much more dynamic and creative way that really lets people get to know you instantly. And connect with you on values and what drives you and why you do what you do, why you're different. So it makes you stand out and makes people trust you so much faster. And so because I've pivoted to focusing on our brand video signature, I really have felt the need to consider other niches. There are many different reasons why I think this is an incredible system for coaches and course creators for the niche that I've been speaking to all along. But I also believe that there could be other niches that are even more eager to work with us on a brand video. And I don't want to go into which niches I'm considering. So that's the one thing I don't want to quite share yet. I do want to share it once it's confirmed and once it's revealed. But there are a couple of things I want to share. First of all, it is uncomfortable as heck to be in this position. It is not fun at all. Funny enough, I talked about having fun in my business in my email newsletter last week. And I have to say, this is far from fun. This is uncomfortable. It really feels like a beginner business owner problem when you don't have the exact niche for the services that you offer. Like, who exactly are you speaking to, right? And my messaging feels like it needs a redirection. And yet, because I'm still thinking about who I'm going to target with this higher end offer, which we've had and it still have, but I want to really focus on this niche that I'm considering this pivot towards. And until that really is confirmed, I feel like my messaging is going to be a bit more vague, and that is very uncomfortable for me. So first off, I feel like, and I talked about this last week, I feel like I have been so focused on a single avatar, a single problem, a single solution, single platform, all of that. Even considering speaking to anybody else feels like there's so many alarm bells ringing in my head that this is a shiny object situation. And it's not. It's obviously not. But it's very, very hard. I feel like I've trained that muscle so much to be hyper focused that in this moment where I'm having to give myself some margin, I'm having to step back, do a lot of inner work, a lot of conversations with myself, a lot of conversation with ChatGPT as my business coach who knows me so well. It's not comfortable, guys. So I really don't recommend this to anyone. Second of all, it feels like a beginner business problem when I'm not a beginner business owner. So it feels extremely weird to be in this situation. Third of all, it is hella uncomfortable to know that the business that I built so far is taking a backseat, that I am intentionally focusing my efforts on my high ticket offer and not on my lower ticket programs. And what I'm and I also feel like I don't have the evergreen systems like perfectly fine-tuned to convert on those offers. And so there's a part of me that's like, "Wait, don't focus on the high ticket until you put these systems in place." And there's another part of me that's like, "Focus on the high ticket because that's the direction you're going. Don't get distracted by, taking the time to put these evergreen systems in place." And so trust me, there's no end to that conflict in my brain. I shouldn't say that. There's definitely an end coming, but it's not fun. It's not fun at all. And I am moving forward with focusing on our signature. I am moving forward, even though the systems are not perfectly in place with everything I've built so far. I just feel like this is the direction I need to go. So I am moving forward, but it's hard for me to like shut down that voice that's telling me to do something else. What else? I was listening to Hormozi's podcast this morning on the way to the gym, and he's doing a lot of Q&As in his podcast, which I think is really valuable, but sometimes it's not exactly my field, or you learn some things. It's kind of like a hot seat with a coach where you learn some things, but sometimes it's not, anyway. You pick and choose what you learn. But anyways, he did say something at the beginning of the episode that really stuck with me. And he says that we often feel like in order to grow, we have to change vehicles. And it's quite the opposite. Staying in the same vehicle is the fastest way. Stay in the same vehicle and keep improving is the fastest way to growth. And the focus is what I'm actually reading my notes here from the podcast. The focus is what allows the compounding to occur. You will never unlock the compounding if you are continuing to switch tasks and switch priorities. And then he gave the example of his neighbor who is the owner of Panda Express. He's the sole owner of Panda Express, and all the guy's been doing for 45 years is selling chicken in brick and mortar. That's all he's been doing. And he cleared like I want to say I can't remember what the number was, but it was hundreds of millions this year. He has like a 27% margin. They made over $1 billion in sales. And so, he cleared a couple hundred million, which he invested into properties. So it was like tax free, all of these things, right? And just hearing that number, so 45 years, the guy has sold chicken in a brick and mortar. The guy has sold the exact same thing for 45 or improved it, right? But theoretically, the exact same thing in the exact same type of business. He did not try to sell pizza. He did not try to sell online more than, I don't know. I'm like going into detail, but it is essentially the same business for 45 years. So if you're doing the same business for a long period of time, the time is your friend. And if you keep improving on that same thing, you can't, like, what are the chances that you're going to fail? They're practically zero. And so hearing that made me so happy. It made me remember that I know I will not fail. So it doesn't matter exactly what's going on right now. Like, I know I will not fail. And so the last thing I wanted to share with you is that in this period of transitioning my niche for my high ticket offer, one thing, by the way, I've been sharing this pivoting part of my journey with a few friends. And the thing that's been really comforting to me was hearing them say that I don't have to change all of my marketing right now. I can test it out. I can work with this other niche, this new niche that I'm exploring, and see how it goes. I can make some connections and get the wheels turning. And if I hate working with them, I don't have to pivot my business towards working with them, right? If for some reason I just don't feel like it's the best fit, like they're not my people, I don't have to pivot my business. So what I'm going to do, I actually finally, and this is why I'm so excited to share with you, I finally have a path forward for how I want to continue in this period of transition, which is I'm not going to change my marketing messaging until I'm sure of this new direction. And I'm giving myself some time to explore these other, so I really have like about 4 niches that I'm considering right now, and I'm going to gently explore all 4 of them with the intention of being more and more strategic and more specific about narrowing in on one of them. So I'm definitely not going to stay sort of in this wishy-washy, reaching out to 4 types of customers right now. There's like 2 of them that kind of stand out to me and that I feel would be the best home runs for our services and for the solutions that we offer, for the results that we offer. And so with that said, that's what I'm going to pursue. I'm going to pursue these 2 niches very intently. If you listen to my podcast episode with Dr. William Attaway a few weeks ago and on the episodes thereafter, I am focusing on income producing activities like crazy. I am doing a ton of outreach, a ton of follow up. My content game has not really been up to par. So I'm definitely lacking in that department, and that is going to get worked on this week. But yeah, I am focusing a lot on doing a ton of outreach. I had an amazing meeting with a really awesome founder who is the founder of a group of female founders that is 2.7 thousand people strong. And she's made some introductions for me. I am getting on a really big podcast tomorrow, 50,000 downloads a month, that whose audiences is one of these niches. And so I'm doing the thing, I'm doing the work. It's not comfortable. It's not honestly fun to be in this transition mode, but I'm embracing it anyway. I love that I know that I'm going to succeed anyway. So this is an episode to future Mariana listening to this in a year, in 2 years, and looking back at this moment where I had to pivot my business a little bit. So my business is not actually pivoting, but I'm sharpening my focus on a different niche. And so wish me luck. I hope this episode was helpful for you. Essentially, I want to acknowledge that there are times in our business where we might be dealing with something like this at an unexpected time. So for me, I chose my niche very, very early on. When I started Brand Magnetic, I knew I was speaking to coaches and course creators. And so all of my programs are very much tailored to coaches and course creators. Although I've had e-commerce folks in there, I've had traditional businesses in there, I've had brick and mortar folks in there. So everyone gets great information and great results from my programs. But my marketing had a very, very specific focus. And now that focus is shifting because my attention is shifting to our signature offer, our done for you brand videos. So I wanted to share that this is this moment where things are in transition, where I feel like it's not comfortable. And I want to share that I'm pushing through anyway, that I'm reminding myself that I can't not succeed, that I'm focused and I'm focused on improving, and I'm not adding more offers. I'm not changing things up. I am not, one thing that I'll just say this last thing, which is one of the niches that several people have told me about that would benefit tremendously from having a brand video. I'm a little bit hesitant with that niche because I know that they need a lot more help. And so there's a part of me that's like, wait, should I be offering other kinds of services? And the answer is no. The answer is no. The answer is my focus has to be on the trust acceleration system that I incredibly specialized in. And I know that by growing the business with this very unique focus, I will move forward so much faster. Hope this was helpful for you. If you want any other resources in learning how to tell your brand story, make sure to follow me at Brand Magnetic. I have a bunch of trainings at brandmagnetic.com, a bunch of free trainings for you. I have a free cheat sheet that you can grab that's always linked in the show notes. Brandmagnetic.com/cheat sheet is your starter guide for understanding what your brand story should be. And I am excited for the next chapters. Yes. I'm excited for the next phase of this business. Continue to stay tuned to Empire Secrets. We have some fantastic guests coming your way that I'm so excited to share. In fact, just today I got two new I have so many people already applied to be a guest on this podcast, but just today I looked through two new pitches that I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is awesome." I love the caliber of the guests that are coming on the show very soon, and I'm excited to share those with you. I'm excited to have those conversations and excited for you to tune in. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you on the next episode of Empire Secrets. Bye for now.